Hey guys, today I have another redstone creation for you. Now this is based on a concept by my good friend Fenno, and a link to everything Fenno will be in the description below. Now what that concept is basically when you push a button or something, hidden chest system will activate, and then that's pretty standard. Everyone has made one of those except for me. I should probably make one of those. But anyways, the thing that's different than others is when you open a chest, you can take your goodies out, and then when you close it, it'll automatically close up the system, and it'll be all hidden again. So that's really cool, and it was actually a pretty good challenge. So here is a finished version. If I push this button, then that'll open up all nice, and then we'll have an explosion of Fenno all over our chests. And then when we close it, it'll close all over your face. Now, it may look pretty big, however, I think the only way to get it smaller is to make it one taller in height, and then maybe you could knock off this awkward layer over here. And but I don't think it'll be in sync. And one of the largest parts of this creation is that, as you see, that's in sync, that's in sync. There's no weird piston pulsy movements going on anywhere. When you open it and then close it, everything will be in sync. It's actually pretty fast on closing. But I think that's it that I wanted to talk about for the size of the creation. So what you're going to want to do is grab a couple of trap chests and then a redstone block for this first part. Now find out where your chest is going to be. Mine is going to be right there, and then have a sticky piston to the bottom and left of it, and then have a redstone block there, and then this will just be the frame of your wall, just like this, and then here's going to be your floor in front of it. And if you want to place your pistons under here that activate and hide the piston from the bottom, you can do that right now if you want to, so I'm just going to do that. It's because I just talked about it. So there we go, piston there, and everything. You could cover that all up. Now you're going to need to grab a couple of droppers and a comparator. This will point up, down will point down, and what we have just created is an RS NOR latch. You place your button there, and then you need to have a strong item in there. It can't just be like any of these blocks. It has to be something that you can't stack, and that'll just make sure that the signal we get out of it is too long. But this RS NOR latch is pretty common. Usually you would have another button up there, but this essentially does the same thing. Now you're going to need to get a comparator from that block out there, and then have a dust there and a dust there. That's why we need a strong signal, because there's two of them. Now have a torch there to invert it, and then a repeater on 4 going into another torch on both sides. Now I'm going to be placing the double piston extending circuit right now. So 1, 2, 1, 2, and then also I'm going to be placing the glowstone and pistons that make everything seamless. So where's glowstone? There it is. I haven't actually used glowstone too often. I'm not a huge glowstone fan. I'm more of a redstone lamp fan personally. But you're going to need to have piston there, and then glowstone there, blocks there. So like a 2-2 pattern, I guess. And then regular piston. And then down here, you're going to want to have cauldrons, but you're going to need to get a comparator output from them. So you're going to need water as well. 1, 2, make sure you don't spill it all over your creation. And then over here, you're just going to have a comparator, and then when these cauldrons get pushed down by those top pistons, they'll just power these bottom ones, which is exactly what we want. So there we go. Now you're going to want to have a block coming out of there, going into a repeater, going into dust, and then over here you're going to want to have a repeater on 2 going into a block, going into another piece of dust, going into this there, and then over here you're just going to want to have a repeater on 2 going into dust on half slabs. And what we have just created is a pretty simple double piston extending circuit. Now what's happening here is, first, this torch turns on. Well, these two turn at the same time, but since that's going into a repeater, this one is more important. This turns on this dust first, and then that'll just power these two back pistons. Then this repeater will power that dust, which powers that block, which will power that piston as well as that piston. So those front ones are activated, and that goes into this repeater on 2, which just ensures that these back pistons have enough delay to retract the front ones. And then this repeater on 2 will just make sure that it pulls the block back to its final state. Now what you're going to want to have is another piston with another cauldron, and then more water in that as well. And then that just gets, that's not redstone, water in that, and then that just gets compared to output. You're going to need to get a block there, a repeater, oh, no, wrong button, dust, and then another repeater going into a block, going into 2 pieces of dust, going into another block. And then the final thing we need to do is have dust there, and then dust all around here. But that's kind of broken, so we're going to have to fix that. Try to open that up, and then close it again. Now, as you see, closing works perfectly fine. However, opening does not quite work right. If you see over here, when I try to open it, this won't activate and that won't activate, and that's because although these pistons are getting powered, they got butted since this double extender was in the way when they got turned on. So to bud that, I'm going to do something pretty cool over here. You're going to want to have a repeater on 3 and a repeater on 3 here. Now what this will do is when these repeaters turn off, it'll change the signal strength because that is set 1 back, so it won't be 15. It'll change to 14, that to 13, and that to 12, and that'll update these pistons. So if you watch over here, technically it's open right now. It's just broken, so I'm just gonna open that and then close it to close the system, then open up over here. And as you see, these repeaters have successfully butted that, and that'll work every time. This works in bucket as well, surprisingly. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So as I said earlier, you guys should totally follow his Twitter and subscribe to Fenno. Links will be in the description, but if you want to just type that in, here's an explosion of Fenno all over you. He has a website as well, however it's under development, but I've just linked that just because I think it'll be pretty snazzy when it's done. So I think that's it for this video. If you guys enjoyed, upvote on Reddit. And until next time, goodbye.